Greetings folks, Pastas here with an update for my not critically acclaimed Battlemage build. A true blade and sorcery playstyle featuring the ability to use any spell in the game and most one-handed weapons. No switching necessary, we go in, boom boom boom, and we nuke everything. This is an hyper-aggressive build, it's all about smashing keys super fast without ever running out of stamina or mana. High damage, amazing self-heal, stagger, and despite the crit chance nerf, the Sarras Mystic Tree really carries this build really hard. In this video, I will show all necessary information, locations of all the gear, alternative options, attributes, skill tree, and Sarras perks. However, due to the fact that this is an end of Act 2 build, I will suggest you to level up either as a pure mage or a warrior until you get there, because it's frankly much easier. Weapons. This is not a wand build because this is a cast while we attack setup, but if you want to go dual wield and have a wand in your outer slot and switch between them, the answer is just use a Crucible wand from Act 2. This will net you much more spell power, but you will have to switch. My main weapon is Shadowfang River, high damage, and when you create this weapon will really hurt. It's from Act 2, either you buy it or you gamble items when you farm the tool house at night until you get it. In alternative, of course, Stormbringer from Act 3 is also quite strong and has very high base damage. It's also free, but it will require you to have attack to proc that lightning bomb effect. In alternative, if you're playing with cold or chill setup, you can use Ice Crusher from Act 3, also free. Base damage is still high, so that's good. You can use Cooling Axe if you are going toward Burning Application, also good, also free, also from Act 3. Ravencrest Executioner from Act 1 has a similar base damage as Shadowfang River, but no added critical damage, but it's free. Of course, you can also use Frost or Inferno Blade from Act 2, or both if you want to switch for a dual wield setup. The requirements are very easy to meet. There is also, of course, Tide Piercer from Act 1, but that will make this build play differently, but the choice is up to you. Weapon relics, so my advice is get an Azure Lichstone, so you will never run out of mana, and then get a Fist of Strain from Act 3, so you will never run out of stamina, when your critical chance is decent. This build is very spammy, so that's the reason. If you don't care about either, you can also use Celestial Charms. For helmet, the best choice is Queen Crown Protector from Act 1 because we need the crit and also it will give us a very good chunk of damage. But you need to farm 1800 Cobwebs. These can be farmed easily, but you still need to farm them. So it also requires you to side with the Queen during the quest line, where after you talk to Brock in Act 1, you kill a couple of bees and then, well, just be a simp, I guess. Crystal Walker Helmet is also an option from Act 3 because we still put a good amount of points in endurance, of course, but will give you no bonus damage for your spells. If you want to go chill and wet for status effect, you can also use the Coral Crown from Sarras. This will mess your stats a little bit because there is a dexterity requirement, or you can go full crit build if you know what you're doing. Just don't play with Crucible if you're going full crit damage build. The best chest is Doublet of the Last Jest. It will give us a fat stack of damage, it's free, and the healing penalty is not relevant. You need to finish Act 2 and do the small crypt here. For gloves, only one option again, and that's Hexgrip Vambrace. It's mandatory. Without this one, the build is gonna be much weaker. There is no other option or way to play around this. You get this one when you get a lot of gear that I will show later in the video, since some people are still confused by the tower. For pants, I went with Night Stalker because my spell crit was low. This can be fixed by getting higher level. This is free and from Act 2. In alternative, if you disable a Azure Lichstone, you can use Spell Warden Pants crafted from Act 2. There is also, of course, Crystal Walker Pants that can be used and will give us a lot of melee damage, but the cost of mobility. Royal Breeches can also be used when you finish Act 2 naturally. For boots, Crystal Walker Boots, 4-hour melee crit. If you want to play without crit, because that is also an option when you can amass large amount of damage, you can use Spell Warden Boots with Azure Lichstone, or if you're playing without that relic, you can also get the Frozen Seer crafted boots from Act 3. For back item, Winged Back Cavalier, again one of the staples of hybrid builds, will provide you the highest amount of crit that you can find from a back item. It's crafted, you need to do a couple of quests for Atli located here. Thorns of the Netherbloom can also be used, also from Act 3, it's more spell power orientated. Just follow the Stone Warden Village questline, it will send you here, and then you get the resin, and the recipe is also found in the same room to the left. 4 rings, Perilous Orbs from Act 1, I'm not even kidding, in total it will give you 6% crit and a bit of critical damage. Unless you're playing with status effect, if you're playing with poison, you can use the poison ring from Act 2. For Amulet, Pendant of Endless Study if you don't want to go status effect, otherwise either Fire Amulet from Act 3 or Glacial Amulet from Sarras if you want to freeze stuff. Choice is up to you. Okay, these are my final stats. Of course, this build did everything in Veteran without any upgrades, so any gold that you invest in this build will be even more damage than what you saw in the footage. Minimum requirement are 13 strength, that is the requirement for Robes of the Last Jest. I went with 15 because for a while I used Stormbringer. If you're not planning to use Stormbringer, no reason to go 15 at all. Endurance is 15 to be able to use Pieces of Crystal Walker. 18 points in Spirituality. Why do I say 18? Because I got 2 bonus Spirituality points from the Alchemist Guild questline. In the description there is gonna be a link where you can find all the bonus attribute points, the stats, the shrine, all that stuff. I would say to not go above 20 Spirituality because mainly what you want to do is fix your crit. Okay, as I said in the start, the leveling mainly up to you. This is what I did because when I tried to go half and half in Veteran, I hit a brick wall in Act 2. So it's better that you get enough Spirituality so at least you can use stronger spell and then you start to ramp up melee stuff after you get your Hexgrip, or you just do the contrary and focus on melee first. If you want to go as Spirituality, I have a mage build in my channel, is gonna be linked in the description, that has a fully developed leveling section. However, my advice is we start with 6 points in Spirituality and then 6 endurance, or the more aggressive way is directly 15 points in Spirituality and 6 endurance. Some people will ask, well, Pasta, what about the Arcanist Sword? I saw you using it in the footage. It's really not worth it in my opinion. The damage in Act 2 was really low. In the end, it was literally a stat stick. If I had a wand, it would have been better because at least I would have gotten more spell power and other perks from the wand tree. So, when you are close to the end of Act 2 and you get your Spirituality to 20 and your endurance to 15, then you focus on your strength and the rest goes in perception. Very simple. Okay, skill tree. We start in Spirituality, Mana Battery, Power and Swiftness. Then we go in Dexterity, Strong Arm of the Master, Marksman. Now you're gonna say, of course, we are technically half melee. Can't I just not take Marksman? It's because, well, I will get very close to the target. If you want to give up Marksman, yes, you can. It's very good for leveling, especially when you're a pure mage. But if you want to skip those points because you're like, well, I'm gonna go in melee anyway, the percentages is gonna be very low, that is mainly up to you. Then we go in Spirituality, Arcane Teaching, Invigorating Energy, Exploitation of Affliction, Tiresome Wave, Arcane Mark, we max Tiresome Wave. If you're gonna use an Azure Lichstone, you don't need Sorcerer Efficiency at all. As soon as you lock Red Death, regardless of your level, you get Plague Warden. Plague Warden is the difference between being dead or alive. 1 point in Godly Physique, 2 points in Executioner, Weapon of the Great Theft, 3 points in Agile Fighter. You have the decision to make if you want. If you want to do stagger through heavy attacks, you can do it. Otherwise, we're gonna get our stagger from the spell section. Powerful Blows. If you're gonna use the Stamina Relic that I suggested, Unstoppable Momentum and Invigorating Dance can be completely skipped because our stamina is gonna be full most of the time, really. 1 point in Born in Armor, 1 point in Inner Strength, we max Extra Lucky, 1 point in Respite in Cruelty, 2 points in Critical Aegis, 2 points in Bloodthirst, and then rest go for the eyes. That is literally what I did. If you are higher level than me, Bleed proc from Deep Wounds can save your relic slot. Swift and Fierce is also good. You can finish getting Born in Armor. You can invest in the Red Death tree for extra damage. Really, depends on your level. You can go ahead and get Imbibed, Elemental Shock. A lot of it depends on the spell that you're gonna be using. And then, of course, Unending Assault. Okay, let's look at the Sarras tree. Of course, we are gonna play as a Mystic. But more importantly, we're gonna fully focus on the right side. The most important perk that you should rush is Arcane Smite, of course. Arcane Smite is incredibly powerful. Arcane Smite is incredibly powerful. As soon as you get it, you will see how much the damage ramp up. Of course, Mana Spring is the first point, Recovery Focus the second, Arcane Smite, and then Battle Mage.
If you're seeing this message, it means Caradoc has fulfilled. My king, I understand that what Merlin and I have done was against the laws of nature. I know how many brave knights gave their lives so we could find a way to bring you back. But they...
Well, thank you for watching if you got this far. Please consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing for more gaming content. If you have any question or doubts, let me know in the comments below. I'll try my best to get back at you in a reasonable time unless I'm sleeping. Have fun playing Fall of Avalon and I will see you in the next video.